Welcome to Mountain Man Explore the Truth. How's everybody doing today or tonight, depending on the time you're listening to the podcast? I hope you are doing well, guys. I'm going to be doing more lives like this. I'm having fun doing it. I'm hoping to find some more guests to bring on the show. Tonight, I was going to bring on Tammy, but she had an issue coming on, so we're going to try that again another time. And hopefully, it'll work next time. Watching this person drive by real slow. Anyways, that's I got a good spot. I can look out the window and see what's going on out there. But anyways, guys, it happens. Sometimes these links when you go onto other devices might not work. Maybe it's the phone, maybe it's the laptop. I'm not sure. I didn't have an issue with it last time. I tested it with Mr. Duffy and it worked out just fine. Um, we can always try to share the link in YouTube chat. That might work there. But for her, I know it's popping up right. It's just when she goes to click on there, she can't get in there. So I'm not 100% sure why it's not working. I'll have to dig deeper into that more. My oldest is the brainiac on all that stuff. But anyways, guys, I'm gonna hit live on Facebook too. Maybe I can get some other people interested in coming on, just talking Bigfoot or whatever. Here we go. I'm gonna go live and see if I get anybody's attention. All right, here we go. Hey guys, I'm on YouTube live right now. I was supposed to do a show with Tammy tonight. We're gonna reschedule and try it again another time. Maybe we'll have to do it just the phone line in like the old way I used to do it. She had trouble trying to get into the link. You hear me repeating it on YouTube. I apologize, but I just started Facebook, so let's see if I can get anybody's attention. So if anybody wants to come on right now and just talk Bigfoot, or just be me all alone talking about whatever. And sometimes I get lost in my own mind. I'll get sidetracked and forget what I'm talking about. So that tends to happen. And I'm pretty stoked about all my stuff is working here. You might hear me, my voice. Oh, no, it's cut out. Cool. I'm trying to get more things set up. You can look in the back here. I got the background work. I'm going to get like a poster later on. But the shirt works for now. I got some of these bats in the background that I cut in a laser machine, so it's pretty cool. I'm hoping somebody might reach out to me and I can bring them on. But if not, it's just going to be me. I'm going to share the link in there and go from there. So, Facebook, I'm out. I shared what I can say on there. If you're interested, go check out YouTube, subscribe, and share the channel. Thumbs up too. It sure would help me out. Thanks. So, that's for Facebook. I can cut that out so in case I get messages from somebody. All right, let me check here. Oh my goodness. Man, there's so many people talking politics nowadays. It's like, come on, guys. Quit being so obsessive. Let the people do their job and just live life. Anyways, guys, this is not a beer. It's an iced tea. But who knows? Maybe somebody will reach out to me. If not, I'll keep this short. All right, so here we go. Let me see here. Um, if anybody's in the chat room, say hello. I only see two people. One might be me. Say hello, and I'll try to share the link in there. Maybe it'll work in there. Um, we'll see. We'll see. Okay. Tammy's gonna keep trying, but if it don't work, that's okay. We'll reschedule another time. I am looking forward to hearing about her experience. If you haven't heard of Tammy Cheney, be sure to check out her podcast. Um, the talk, I believe it's the Talk Consciousness podcast. Um, oh no, it's the Consciousness Talk podcast. I apologize, Tammy. Definitely go check it out and subscribe to her channel. She's starting out. She's been doing it for a while now, I am assuming, and she's got some pretty interesting guests on her show. I checked out some of them. I was like, wow. Ryan even been on there, so that was cool. Um, I'll be sure to pop on her show. I'll have to test it on hers and see if it works. But looks like I got 3 people watching now. Be sure to say hello in there, guys. And I'll put the link in there, and you can pop in, and we'll just talk Bigfoot. Could be anything really, but I just need to know who's in there. So say hello before I share. I'm not gonna just Well, let's see here. Okay. Just checking all my stuff here. Everything looks good there. Everything looks good there. I think I'm recording. Okay. All right. So I'm digging it. I'm digging this new internet. It's working well. Um Starlink is what I'm using now. And it seems to be working pretty well. The Wi-Fi has been connecting really good. Speed's good. Um Anyways, enough of that. So moving here into Texas, guys, it's took me a while to get used to because it's different than the environment I was from. The hotter temperatures and humidity is something to get used to. But I'm digging the weather being nice all the time. But sometimes those hot days really get to you because you want to do stuff outside, but you're like, oh man, I gotta slow down a little bit. But what do you think Bigfoots do? Do you think if they get overheated, they just chill most of the day and just move around at night in hotter climate areas? What do you think? Leave a comment. Let me know. Um, so for me though, I feel like it's better to do things early in the morning. Once it hits about noonish, kind of want to be. I don't know. You want to be a little careful around here. Make sure you're drinking plenty of water because I come in with my shirt all wet, so it's like, oh my god, it's hot. But I enjoy doing stuff outside. Anyways, later in the evening, it's good time to do things. Um, but yeah, we just went on a fire ban out here, so theirs is way later than Oregon's, which is interesting because we get a lot of rain in Oregon, and their fire ban starts usually I don't know June, July, some a little bit after July, I think. Here their fire ban, I don't know, that makes sense, does it? But I guess you would think a fire ban would be a whole lot sooner here, but I don't know. I'm still learning about Texas. But anyways, guys, there's definitely Bigfoots here. Heard a lot of reports. There's actually been some sightings out here from hunters. I'm hoping to reach out to some of them and bring them on the show. I apologize, guys. I keep looking outside. It's one good spot. I can look out and see what's going on. Um, Over in Oregon, though, I think Bigfoots are active all day, time and night because it's not hot all day. I mean, it's hot there, but not like crazy hot like it is here. So I definitely think they moved around more during the night and day there. I definitely think they do move around night to avoid people contact with people. So let's see here. I got a few people watching. Who's in there? Who's watching? Say hello in the comments so I can see who you are. Don't be shy. If you want, you can come in and say hello. So I'm trying to reach out to some people here. I guess I should share the link on Facebook too, so people know I'm live right now. So let's see here. How do I do that? I'm live right now. Um, Live chat. Oops. Still trying to figure out that. That's okay. I made a little video on there, so. Anyways, guys, I'll probably keep this short because I'm not going to bore you. I just wanted to ask some questions on what you think about that. What do you think Bigfoot thrives on the most on when it comes to food? Do you think they mostly eat vegetation like, greens and berries and rodents and small stuff to kind of keep them going? Or do you think they constantly go after big game? Because it makes you wonder, because if they're always eating big game, you would think it'd be less, I don't know, be less wild game out there for them. But then again, I think maybe their digestive system is slower than ours. But technically, I think we're supposed to be slow too. I think our digestive system is supposed to be, where we're. What I read is that we're supposed to technically eat one meal a day and snack. So it looks like I got 4 watching. Say hello in the chat if it's somebody that's interested and want to come on the show. Let me know. I'll share the link. So far, I had one guy come in and on one of the lives, Mr. Duffy. He's always a cool guy to chat with. He might be a bit much for some podcasters out there. But I enjoy him. He's got a good mindset when it comes to Bigfoot and what he believes, and I respect that. So, um, you may disagree or agree with people like him. It's okay. Just debate with him. That's all he asks. He ain't gonna hurt you. So don't run scared. Um, but yeah, I leave it open for other people to come in and chat. I'm hoping to get somebody else to come in so I can chat with pick some people's mind on things. Let me try to say hello in here. Hello, who is in the chat room? Who's here? So hopefully one day I'll have my chat room going crazy like some of these podcasters, but it'll take time. I know. Um, I've been gone for a while. Been gone a while. I mean, 4 months, and then there was a time I was gone for a long time. I was dealing with stuff, personal issues, and a bunch of other things. So sometimes you gotta talk, or take a break and figure out your life and get yourself set. Ooh, I got 5 now. Thank you guys. Stay in. Say something in the chat room. If you're somebody that's wanting to come in, let me know. I'll bring you in because I'm just getting bored talking to myself, which is okay. Eventually I'll prepare my shows for that. Eventually I'll set up shows preset. Figure out what I'm going to talk about instead of coming on here and sound like an idiot. Um, so I got my equipment all set up. I hope it's not too much of the. I still got to adjust some things on here. Check this out, guys. There's some cool settings on here. Check this out. I'm going to show you real quick. So let me show you. This is kind of cool, guys. Listen to this.
Test 1, 2. Check that out, guys. Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, you gotta like that, right? Oh, here's another one that's kind of cool. Hello, 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 hello. Oh, that's just the echo. That's nothing. Hold on a second. Hello, hello. Oh, you know what? I think that's one of the things I was missing on here. Gotta keep that right there. All right, it goes the other way. Here we go.
So what's up, guys? How y'all doing? Hey, Mr. Duffy. You're using your name right on, man. Good to see you in there. See, I got some people watching, and I'm here being a goofball. So, I hope you're digging that. Anyways, let's get back to the normal sound here.
Yeah, see, isn't that a trip? Especially this little
Chickmuck voice.
So yeah, that's kind of cool. That's kind of cool. It's got a lot of reverb right here too. Like I'm walking down the hallway. Hey guys, let's take a tour down this hallway here. Here we go. See, it's kind of fun to play around with. There's a lot of little settings on it. I'm still learning how to use this damn board, but it works good enough for the podcast. Um, so yeah, guys, I'm gonna try to do more live shows like this and pre-recorded shows because I want to do pre-recorded shows as well. Now I got this working. I can have a guest come on, and that way you can see them talking about their experience, and uh, and go from there and see how it goes. Since I got a better upgrade now, I'll still use this equipment. It's been working fine for me. Someday I'll upgrade, but not worried about it right now. It's good enough. I might upgrade the mic. I might use the same brand, but upgrade to a different one because I wouldn't mind having a mute button on it. So that way I can mute out sounds, and hold on a second. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, let's see here. Try that too, yeah. Well, it did work. Did work on. But yeah, it's let's see here. I'll show you guys a trip out here. This is how I know. It's not gonna. I'm not gonna do that right now. Forget that. All right, all right. So yeah, I'll try to do more lives like this, guys. Looks like I got 6 watching right now. I don't know who's all here, but at least Mr. Duffy said, "Yo." Trying to get anybody else to say hello. What's up? Oops. Trying to see who else is here. So, well, doesn't look like anybody else is here, are they? Let's see here. It might be. I don't know. Could be. Could be. Could be. Okay, guys. As you can see, I'm gonna try to test it on myself here to make sure everything's working. Had some issues on here. All right, let me check this out. I'm gonna send myself the link. I think if I can do it right. All right. Sorry guys, I can't see. Hell yeah, Mr. Duffy. That sounds awesome. Heading home to cook. Yeah, right on, man. That sounds good. Actually, dinner. It's gonna be a late one. I figure I play around with this tonight. Might have to just take a break and come back. But oh yeah, I was gonna test it on myself here. Let me copy my link. Copy link. Let's see if I can send this to myself. Let's see, Blake. There I am. Okay. This might trip you guys out. You might see two of me in a minute here. So I want to make sure everything's working. Would you look at that? You're gonna hear my voice double, guys, because I was testing this. Okay, yeah, it worked. Get rid of that. All right, so, but I might have Cindy pop in here. If she does, that'd be cool. Damn, that sounds good. All right, so that worked. All right, guys. Let's talk Bigfoot. We'll leave it at that. This was Let's Talk Bigfoot. Might be coming back on in a little bit with Cindy, maybe. She might want to come on for a little bit and chat. So, you know what? Maybe I'll leave this going because she can just come in here and I could change the name later. So it don't matter to me. It don't matter to me. Okay, let me try it again here. All right. Tammy wants to try one more time, so we'll give her a minute to see if it'll work. Okay. Yeah, you're right. I learned it in kindergarten, man. I'm still learning. I'm a little slow, man, but I'm okay with that. All right, let's see here. A little slow. All right, let me see here what's going on over here. If it don't work. Sorry, guys. Chatting with Tammy for a second here. All right. Okay. Let me see here. All right, guys. So I'm gonna probably end this one for now because Cindy might come on, and I'll chat with her for a little bit. Since okay, she sent me a voice message. She might, or she may not. So I'll have to reach out to her later. Hold on a second. All right, give me a minute, guys. I'll be right back. Hey, no problem. Any day works. Yeah, that'd be cool. Set stuff up with you. No issue. Tammy had an issue trying to get in. Anyways, guys, or sorry, Cindy. I'll talk to you later. Oh, can you hear me, Tammy? Hold on a second. Oh, all right. Can you hear me, Tammy?
Yes, can
All
you hear me?
right. Yeah, I can hear you.
I
Cool,
had to
cool.
actually take it and put it in my web browser. I
Oh,
couldn't just click it. It didn't tell me that, but something popped in my head and said, put it in the web browser and see if that works.
you
And
know
it
what?
came right on.
You know what? I didn't think about that. That makes more sense now that I think about it. So,
Mhm.
right on. Cool.
Can you
Well,
see me and everything? Do I have everything on?
yeah, you looks like everything's good. I see you.
Okay, perfect.
Let me check on the YouTube and see if we're on there. Yeah, we're on there. Um, so
So
yeah.
they just listened to all of our conversation?
Yeah, that's okay. We can
Yeah, that's okay.
audio version will be edited out, and I'll redo an intro for that too. So go ahead and plug yourself in.
Awesome.
Tell people about yourself.
Perfect. Hey, by the way, I just want to say that I love your new studio.
Yeah, I'm
Much
working on
different than
it.
when you were in your truck.
I'm definitely working on it. There's gonna be more in the background here later on. So
Yeah, it looks really good. What's that? Is that a Bigfoot in the background?
yeah, a little stuffed
I love
animal
it.
here. So
Yep, and the bats up top.
yeah.
Okay, so a little bit about myself. So, what? How do you want to go here? It is October. It is, the spooky month, I guess you could say. I could go into several different dark moments, I guess you could say, that I had. Like very vivid, live, dark moments, and just make it like kind of spooky. Which direction do you want to go?
You can go any way you want. I'd love to hear about it.
Okay, so my name is Tammy, and can I mention my podcast?
Yeah, yeah. Definitely plug in for
Okay,
yourself. I
so
did it in the
I
intro, but because we had issues earlier. But go ahead.
okay, well, all right. So I am a YouTube podcaster, and my channel is Raw Conscious Talk Podcast. I interview people that have had near death experiences, out of body, astral projecting, any type of telepathy, paranormal, or spiritually transformative experiences. So, the reason why I started my podcast is because of my own personal experiences that I have went through. So I'm going to give a little bit of when I was the youngest and what I remember, because everything that I remember it like it happened yesterday. It's never, my experience never leaves my mind. So starting at the age of 3, I began to be able to communicate with this entity. And at that time, I'm only 3 years old. I assume that what's happening is normal. And I began to speak with that entity on a regular basis every day for my whole entire life. Like, that entity's never left me. Call it a guide, call it an angel, call it whatever it is. Me personally, I believe it's the actual source, the source of all that is in creation. So, as I went through my life, uh, things began to expand beyond that. By the time I was 5 years old, I had my first out of body experience. Now, at 5 years old, I was just this little tiny 5 year old girl, And but at 5 years old, I literally felt my insides. I felt it almost like it was Velcro being pulled apart. That's the best way I could describe it. And of course now I'm outside of myself. And at that point, um I can't explain the feeling fully because there really is no words to it. But once I got out of myself, it was it was perfect.
Wow.
That's the only way I can describe it. And when you come out of yourself, you're just right outside of yourself. You know what I mean? So you're still seeing your bedroom. If I was to at that point turn around, I would see my body laying there, but I didn't turn around. I would always see my body when I was coming back. And so where I was just perfect. And that's the best description as that I could give you of where I was at. Well, that became normal in my life. That
Wow.
was something that happened whenever it wanted to. Sometimes I would know I was going to have an out of body experience hours before I had it, because my body would start doing this buzzing feeling. When the buzzing feeling happens, I know I'm going to have an out of body experience.
Wow, that's interesting.
So,
I've heard a lot of people talk about that, and it's like they're saying they're feeling like they can see themselves. Exactly what you're talking
mhm,
about there. I had a
mhm,
similar thing happen to me too. I don't know, it's been years, but I remember
mhm,
looking at myself like if you're looking at yourself in the mirror, and
Mhm.
it was weird experience. So I've been hearing a lot more
Mhm.
about that too. More
Mhm.
people recently.
More people.
Yeah,
Mhm.
so that's pretty interesting.
Lots more people are, in fact, by the millions. If you want me to be honest with you, by the millions,
Yeah,
people are having these experiences.
yeah.
And
I
so,
think you had Rye on your show, right? Didn't you?
yes, I
Yeah,
did, and I've been on his show, and I'm about to do another interview on his show too.
oh, right on. Yeah, he's a good guy. He's a good guy.
So, oh, I love him. Yeah, we chat all the time. He sends people my way. I send people his way.
Right on. Yeah, he's a good
Yeah,
friend.
we totally and fully have each other's back and support fully each other's channel to help build it up and help keep it going.
Yeah, you gotta,
And so,
in this kind of world of ours,
mhm,
because you're gonna deal with,
mhm,
naysayers and people that be
mhm,
supportive, and you're gonna deal with a lot of crap when it comes to podcast world. But everybody goes in
right.
different directions with it, and I love
Mhm,
that part about it. Everybody's doing their own thing, their own style,
mhm,
especially your style and Rye's style, and everybody's had some kind of experience in their life. Like I have a lot of experience
yes.
too when I was a kid, seeing paranormal stuff and UFO
Mhm,
stuff. But Bigfoot's been always my fascinating. I've always found Bigfoot
mhm.
fascinating. Um,
Right. Oh, me
yeah,
too. And I know how I know I got a whole download of information years ago telling me how Bigfoot is coming, how people are seeing him, and in seconds he's gone, like completely out of view, like or just disappears. It's because he can move in and out of the realms. He has that gift to move in and out of the realms, so he can appear or not appear at any point.
wow.
And so, well, and the reason why I know that, and I know that fully, is because I've been able to personally, after starting to have all the out of body experiences that I was having and it becoming normal in my life, I was able at some point to just leave at will. I didn't have to go through that feeling of the like it was like coming out of my body. I didn't have to experience that anymore. And that's why I know that Bigfoot enters into other realms, because I've entered in many other realms. And and for me personally, and this might be hard for people to hear, or not so much hear, but believe and really see that something like this happens. But I spent 90% of my entire childhood on the other side. That's what I call it. I call it the other side.
Oh, I believe it.
And the other side is just right outside your skin. Literally, it's literally right outside your skin. It's right here.
Wow.
And so because I spent 90% of my childhood on the other side, when it came to being a human and doing human things, I had no clue. I literally had no clue. I still do not have any clue how to operate like how this world operates, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Totally
And
makes sense.
so and so so for me, my 20s were definitely a train wreck, because I didn't at that time, I didn't know how to what I eventually called it was fake it until you make it, was my famous line. I had no clue what I was doing, but I'm gonna fake it until I make it. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And the thing was, is I went into my adult life being fully connected to the other side. So here it's like, the only way I can fully describe it is I got, I'm half in and I'm half out. And I walk that type of a walk daily, every day. I'm half in and I'm half out. And it's like you really can't just navigate both sides. You have to like pick one or pick the other. But when you're trying to do both, it truly causes like insanity. Like for the longest time, I knew everything that I have had that has happened to me. I've known it since, like I said, 3 years old is the earliest memory that I have. when I began to speak to the entity. I may have been speaking to the entity before that, but my memory, I was 3 years old. And I know exactly what house I was living in. I know exactly where I was at in the house when it was happening. Like it's crystal clear to me. And so as I went through life, like I had between the ages of 6 and 8. So I'm gonna tell the in between things that were happening in between all that I just told you was happening.
Okay.
There was another entity, and I got revelation of why I went through that experience. Maybe it's full revelation. I'll tell you in a second. But there was this entity that would come to my house every single night. I knew way before it came that night it was going to come. And it was some sort of entity that wore heavy boots, like heavy work boots. So when he was coming down the hallway to get to my room, I could hear him crystal clear coming because his boots were really heavy and hard. And whatever that entity was, it never became a positive experience for me. It was the scariest moments that I had went through. And I was just terrified, literally terrified the whole time, every time it would happen. And I would try it because after a couple of years, I was like, man, I'm older now. I should not be so scared. You know, I would be having these inner conversations because I knew he was coming that night. And I would be like, tonight I'm gonna see what he looks like. You know, I don't know if it was a he or a she, but I'm assuming he because of the boots. And so I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it. The very last full memory that I have with this entity was it came into my house. It went into the kitchen and it started moving things around in the kitchen. So I knew it was in the kitchen. So my thoughts go to like horribly paranoid thoughts because I'm scared to death. He's there. That this entity is getting a knife and is going to kill me. So, you know, imagine the terror in my mind because it never went to the kitchen before. It always came straight back to my room. And when it would come to my room, because I want to throw this in there so people understand, when it would come to my room, it would go right to my door, the doorway, and it would just stand there and stare at me. And that would be all that it would do. It never touched me. It never came anywhere closer except for the doorway of the door. But whatever it was so extremely terrifying to me. And it's something that I will never forget for the rest of my life because it was something that happened so often and for so many years. You just can't forget about stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff is staying with you. And what did it look like to you? Was it like a shadow?
I didn't look. I didn't look at it. I was too scared. As soon as it would get to my room, I would cover my head right away and I would be hiding under the blankets. Okay. And I would tell my family, the man came again last night, you know, and nobody ever believed me. Nobody believed me. And, you know, there was one point in time when I was getting tired of them just making fun of me because it was like this big joke in the house, you know. And one time, a specific night that I knew that it was coming, I took a piece of paper and a pencil and put it right on my nightstand next to my bed. So that because my family kept saying, oh, you're sleeping, you're dreaming. People don't have those types of, that is not a dream that you have over and over and over again for a couple of years. You might have a dream that you might dream again, but not how this was. This was so consistent. But that specific day, I put a pencil and a piece of paper because I was tired of them making fun of me and telling me that I was sleeping. And soon as I heard that thing coming down the hallway with the making the boot noise, I immediately wrote, I'm awake on that piece of paper. So I knew that when I get up in the morning, if it says I'm awake, because you're not going to do that in your sleep. And sure enough, and I showed it to them, and it was just a big laughing joke in my house, to be honest with you. It was just, they didn't believe me. And so I'm going to jump a little fast forward, and I'm going to go to a church pulpit experience that I had.
Oh, really? Okay.
So
let's hear it.
Okay, so for me, I knew my whole entire life that I was different. In fact, I always felt alien, if you want me to be honest with you. And I'm not talking about like alien, like, I don't know, like a praying mantis or something like that.
I think we're all
Okay.
different, and
Mhm.
being involved in this kind of world that we're involved with right now with the unknown,
Mhm.
I think each one of us have open mind to it now, and we're seeing things, experiencing
Right.
more. I definitely have.
Right.
And then people still look at you like you're crazy because they haven't experienced it yet. But there's people like you
Right.
that probably experienced a whole lot more. It sounds like it to me that you definitely experienced a whole lot more for a long time since you were a kid. So it's
Right.
pretty
Well, I
interesting.
didn't even have names for this stuff until just the last 4 years. And so I'm only just, I didn't know at 5 years old when I'm coming out of my body, that's called an out of body experience. I had no clue. I just learned everything, all the names of things just the last 4 years. And so I'm going to jump up to my church pulpit experience when I was 24 years old. I had decided that I was going to go to church because I thought that that's where I was going to find people like me. Okay. So I go to this church, and I've now attended maybe 3 services, and I have absolutely no clue what the heck they're talking about in there. Like I'm clueless of what they're teaching, and because I'm so brand new coming into the church. And so after about the 3rd service, at the end of every service, the pastor or preacher or whatever asks, does anybody want to come up to the front and accept Jesus in their life as their Lord and Savior? So me, because I'm so ignorant to what they're talking about, I'm thinking in my head, okay, so I know I remember when I was like in middle school, maybe 13, 14 years old, I remember shutting a certain aspect of myself off. And the reason why I did that is because when I got into middle school, the little small crowd of people that kind of hung out with me, I was describing one of my out of body experiences the night before and where I went. And I was assuming they were going to tell me where they traveled the night before. And they were like, yeah, no, we don't do that. Like, I have no idea what you're talking about. So that's when I knew that wasn't normal and everybody wasn't doing it. I learned in middle school that that's not normal human life and everybody's not doing it. So there was something that I shut. There was a door that I shut. Okay. That's the only way I can describe it. There was a door that I shut at that time because I knew at that point that whatever I'm experiencing is not normal. And it actually made me feel even more weird and different than people. And so the pastor invites everybody up, and I'm sitting back in the pew, and I was like, yeah, I did shut that, whatever that power was, I did shut that off when I was 13. So I'm going to go up to the front, and I'm going to let it come back in again so that I have that power again that I had. And so I go up to the pulpit, and somebody prays over me while I'm, sitting down on the floor with my head bowed. Well, all of a sudden, I go to look up, like, because I got my head down, I go, and all of a sudden, the church pulpit is in front of me, but there's like this screen, like a white screen, almost like a veil, like a wedding veil, that you put over, that women have over their face. You can see through it, but you can't see clearly. Okay. So as I'm like standing there and I'm like trying to like focus my eyes at what I'm looking at here, it begins to roll up right in front. It was as big as the room in front of me. It was the whole front of me. it begins to roll up, and as it rolls up, I'm starting to see what's behind it, which is still the pulpit, but it was so bright. The colors of everything there, the whole room, the whole front of what I'm looking at, the whole scenery was exactly the same, but it was completely different. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah. That's
So I look over to the side of me because I'm thinking everybody else is experiencing what I'm experiencing right now. And I look over to the side of me and I instantly know nobody else in this room just experienced what I experienced. In fact, I all of a sudden knew the heart of every single person in there. And I knew that none of them were anything like me. None of them were like me. Whatever I am, these people are not. Does that make sense to you?
oh, that's crazy. I never heard
Yeah,
anything like
and
that.
yeah, and not only did I know everything in that room, I knew everything in the whole entire world, and it was all instantaneously. I knew everything. What is everything? I can't explain it to you. I just, at that moment, I knew everything. And so that experience blew my mind. I was instantaneously whatever I was before that, whatever spiritual walk I had before that, it just flew into like full gear in a whole nother experience where whoever I was before I knelt down at the front of that pulpit, it wasn't who I was now. I was instantly a completely different person. Instantly. I didn't know how to process it. I didn't know what to do. All I knew is what just happened to me was so extremely mind blowing. I have to tell everybody. So I started telling everybody. I started telling everybody in my life what happened to me up at the pulpit. None of them believed me. Nobody believed me. Two weeks later, exactly 2 weeks later. So where I was living at is I was living in a home where it was a whole roommate situation where there were multiple girls in this home. Okay. And so I go into my room, that's my portion of the house, and I go sit on my bed. And I didn't do anything more than sit just like I'm sitting now, and I just leaned back on my headboard. When I leaned back on my headboard, I was instantly in a whole different world. It was something similar to Earth because it had a dirt road. It had a castle-like type structure way off to the right in the distance. It had trees and flowers all along the whole path of the dirt road. But this place was the most beautiful place I've ever seen in my life. The colors, everything about this place was so mind-blowing. The energy that flowed through you was the most intense energy that you could ever possibly feel, and you'll never feel it here on Earth. I've never felt it again after that experience. When I was looking at the flowers and the trees and the grass, the flowers were like the most beautiful, like they were translucent. The colors were colors that you've never seen here on Earth, and you can never replicate it. Same with the leaves on the trees and the grass. It was so, the energy, it was so alive. The whole experience was like, I knew that was home. I literally knew instantaneously that was my home.
Wow.
And so I literally, once I arrived there, I had two beings walking with me, and these beings were more in a human form. They just had like a little bit more of a glow to them is the only way I can describe it. So I had one being on this side, one being on this side, and I'm literally freaking out. Like, I wish I could get up and show you how I was like, oh my gosh, look at the, like, I'm freaking out with what I'm seeing.
Oh, I would be
So,
too.
so I ended up back with the two beings because I was going ahead of them. I'm looking at the flowers, I'm looking at the trees, I'm looking at the grass. I'm like, look at the grass, you know? And so I'm back with the beings now. And I decide that I'm going to look behind me to see what's behind me. Because at this point, I was only seeing what was in front of me. So I look behind me. And when I look behind me, there were these silhouette. This is the only way I can describe it. They were silhouette human shapes, but they were just light. They were pure light. The whole thing was pure light, but had like a head shape, like it would be a human and a silhouette that came down. There were thousands of them, and they were behind me, and they went off into the distance. Does that make sense? Like, and you really couldn't see how far those beings continued to go. Did you want to ask a question?
Oh, I was
No.
looking on here trying to make sure the setting was right on this because I heard two of your voice for a minute there, but you probably didn't
Mm-hmm.
hear it. So I just wanted to make
Mm-mm.
sure I turned that volume down on this one because I have two things open on here on this OBS, so it's kind of how you make it work. And I just had to make sure I
Oh, okay,
wasn't getting
okay.
that recorded. I was like, oh god, I hope that's not recording with two voices. Sorry about that.
Right, exactly.
But no, you're blowing
So,
my mind away with what you're telling because I'm kind of going, whoa. Because some of the stuff you talk about is some stuff I experienced kind of like that. About a year
mhm,
ago, I was taking my kids out hiking real quick, take them out hiking,
mhm,
and I remember I was
mhm,
feeling kind of off, and I told them, let's sit down for a minute, have our snack and drink some water. Everything started looking different around me. It was like neon,
mhm.
colors were changing, and I thought I was tripping or something. Cause I even asked the kids, I go, does anything look different to you guys? And they go, no, I don't think so. And I'm like, well, it sure looks different to me right now in this area where we're at right now. Because I feel like we're going
Right,
into a different spot. I swore I seen like waves, and then neon colors in the grass and trees.
right.
It was trippy. So I was like, am I going through something? And I told him, you know what, let's backtrack. Let's backtrack and go this other route, this other trail. And that's what we did. And everything looked normal after that. So that's
And
why
everything changed. Yep.
I started bringing stuff back in my mind when you were bringing that up. So I was like, oh, wow.
Yeah,
So,
it usually does. Like when I tell my story, because I speak to a lot of people, when I talk about my experiences, it it shows people inside them that it comes alive in them, and they realize, oh my gosh, I've went through that, or oh my god, you know what I mean? Because like for me, I thought what I was experiencing was all normal, and that's the normal human experience until I found out. You know what I mean?
mm-hmm.
So most people just don't even realize it's so normal to them, and it's been probably their whole entire life that they've been having clips of certain experiences, and they've just blocked it out. And when somebody talks about their experience, it all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, that
Yeah.
happened to me too.
Yeah, it makes
you
sense
know
because when you're told stuff
mhm
when you're kids, because I seen weird, strange
mhm
things when I was kids. I seen paranormal stuff, like
mhm
I said. I was always saying, "Oh, you're just seeing things. It's your mind playing tricks on you." And
mhm
I've always
mhm
seen some kind of shadow type stuff, So I always seen that throughout my
right.
life. And I remember doing it. I say about a year ago, I think it was, probably last summer. I'm thinking. I remember seeing a lot of
mhm
shadow figures when I took a break from the show, and I started kind of freaking out. So I was like, I had to step back for a minute and do some deep
mhm
praying and, make
right.
peace with myself. And I pray for them to stop showing up, and they stopped. So
Good, good,
I don't know
good,
what
good.
those were. They didn't feel good. I'll
Oh,
tell you
right.
that.
Right,
So
exactly. Yeah. So that's like the same for me. I don't even know if whatever that entity that was coming to my bedroom between the ages of 6 and 8, I don't even know if it was in body form. All I know is it was wearing boots, and it made heavy, boot sounds as it walked. So what it looked like, I don't know. I got too scared every time,
that's why I
and I would
asked you
cover.
earlier because I was like, oh,
Mhm,
did you see what it looked
mhm,
like? Because I was thinking it was a
mhm,
shadow. Because that's kind of what
mhm.
I dealt with when throughout my life, shadow figures and seeing,
Right.
like what me and my cousin called the Hat Man with red eyes. We seen that.
You saw the Hat Man?
Yeah, we saw
I
something
know a
together.
lot of
So
people that have seen the yes, good. I'm so
Yeah.
glad to hear that.
yeah.
But the Hat Man. I wondered if this guy with the boots was the Hat Man. I don't know. I wish that I would have been brave enough to look. I
Yeah,
really do. I wish
kind of
that
looked
I.
like a Dick's Tracy, if you remember the Dick's Tracy type hat. That's what it looked like.
Oh yeah,
On
yeah,
the
yeah.
shadow
Okay.
figure, so with red eyes.
Right.
Me and my cousin still
Right.
remembers that. We talk about it, here and there. So
Right.
yeah, it was weird.
And I have seen different types of eyes. Like, I know that this might sound weird, but I've seen black eyes where the whole thing was black. And actually, I've seen that multiple times. I've never seen red eyes, but I've seen the black eyes. And I've even seen it transform, like go into the black eyes. It would be regular eyes, and all of a sudden it's the black eyes. And but I wanted to throw this in there real quick with
Yeah,
that
go ahead.
experience when I was a kid with the man with the heavy boots. I got revelation that that the reason why I experienced that was because it was like a shadow side of something that was inside of me. And what was happening, it's very likely that if anybody else would have been in the room with me, they probably wouldn't have heard it or seen it, because it was something like how I told you how I could just leave myself at will and I didn't have to have the whole out of body experience to get outside myself. I think what was happening is I was shifting and coming, because most of the time I didn't even have control of it. When I would leave myself, I wouldn't realize that I've left myself. It was just so flawlessly, it would just happen. And so what was happening is I could feel in my spirit, it's going to happen tonight. But when that time came, it wasn't happening in the physical realm. I wasn't asleep for sure. I was wide awake. But what I was doing is I was shifting into another realm. I mean, have you watched Stranger Things?
Yeah, I love it. I love it.
Okay, so you know how Elle talks about the other side. Yeah, that show, that whole thing, except for season 4. Season 4 threw me for a loop. But 1, 2, and 3, all of that was, I understood crystal clear of how it is for my own personal experiences. Like it's just the other side. It's just right outside yourself, you know?
Yeah, a lot of people
So I
talk
got
about that.
revelation. Yeah, I got revelation that I was actually going outside myself into a dark realm. So it was like, you know how on Stranger Things, where when they went into the place where they were being held as prisoners underground, and it was more dingy and gray.
Yeah.
Kind of, you knew you were in a different, that's kind of how it was when I had this full-blown flashback, and all of a sudden the knowledge came inside me of where I was going. I wasn't actually physically in my room anymore. I moved into that space where that entity was, and and then would come back. So I want to go back to where I was a second ago, though, with talking about like the church pulpit and then the paradise experience. So
Yeah, please do.
so in that experience, like I said, I turned and I looked behind me and I saw all those light beings that just went on just forever. When I turned my head back around, immediately in front of me, there was this big, gigantic, huge light. Like it took up the whole front of the sky that was in front of me now. And as soon as I saw that light, I knew that that's who I had been speaking to since I was 3 years old. That light is the source, the energy, the whatever that I had been speaking to since I was 3 years old.
Wow.
And my next words out of my mouth is I looked at the being next to me and I said, I can't wait to go back and tell everyone. And as soon as I said that, I was instantly back in my body, sitting on my bed exactly the way that I was, leaned back. And and back in the room that I was in. And immediately, I mean, I just heard my last words. I can't wait to go back and tell everybody. Immediately, the first thing that I wanted to do is go tell all the other girls in the house what just happened to me. It was so mind blowing that there is no human emotion or even word that I will be able to speak that will even allow you to even closely fully understand what I'm saying when I say it was a mind blowing experience. And so I jump up out of the bed to go tell the girls what just happened to me. And one of the things I noticed as I'm jumping up is that I'm still somehow there and here at the same time, because I could feel the light, that last thing that I just saw, I could feel it all over me. Like I almost like I was in some sort of a bubble. Okay. And so I go out of the room and I go to talk to the girls, and I know that this might sound crazy. It might sound weird. I don't know how this is going to sound, but it was as if these girls could not even see me. Okay. I went to go speak out of my mouth and I had no voice. I couldn't speak.
Wow.
Like I was speechless. Like I couldn't make no noise come out of my mouth. So I immediately, because I was in the hallway at that time at the house, I immediately just turned right back around and I went right back in my room and I sat on my bed. I sat on my bed for about 45 minutes, and I just all of a sudden said inside my head, I wonder if I can speak yet. And so I just spoke out like 3 simple words or whatever, and it came out. It came out in a voice. And at that point, I jumped up and I ran out and I just started telling everybody in the house. I was so blown away. Like that experience it was like the experience I had 2 weeks before at the pulpit was like, I don't know if you've heard this before, but I've heard people say things like a soul merging. Have you heard that word?
Yeah, yeah. I was thinking about when you were talking about that. I was thinking about like, I've heard it on another podcast. I can't think of the name right now. Like the billing cord, like you're hooked to something, a wire to your
Mhm.
own body, and you're out, and
Mhm.
it's like you're connected, but your other self
Mhm.
is out right now, and your other body's just there, waiting for you to return.
Right.
So you have
Yeah,
my mind kind of going, I'm thinking of something. I heard something like this before on another podcast. So
right. See, now I don't know fully if that's what happened because I don't fully know exactly what a soul merging is,
yeah, I
but
don't
all
either.
I know is something took over me and entered me. That's the only way I can describe it. It came in, it entered me, and I walked away from that place a completely different person than I was before I knelt.
Wow.
And then I have that experience 2 weeks later. Like, you want to talk about like I literally lost my whatever mind I had before. That was long gone and I was a completely different person. Like literally I couldn't keep my mouth shut. I had to tell everybody. And in my head, because I was 24 years old then, in my head, I'm thinking I'm just going to speak this stuff out of my mouth, and these people are going to automatically experience what I experienced. That's how I felt at that time.
That's
Well,
interesting.
it didn't happen that way for me. Every single person that was in my life at that time cut me out of their life. They literally thought I lost my mind and I was crazy. Like people that I had known since like ninth grade of high school and stuff like that, they all thought I lost my mind. Like I didn't know what to do. I didn't understand how I just went through those experiences and they were as mind blowing as they were. Why are they not experiencing what I'm telling them? You know what I mean? Like I couldn't figure it out. And so so it just there were so many experiences that have happened like throughout my whole life. um I don't know how much time we have. How long have we been
Oh,
on? I can
we
tell
got a
you.
little bit longer, and plus, definitely gonna have to bring you back. And of course, I'll come on your show and share, my stuff. And
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna skip then because I'm gonna leave all the in between stuff too for
let's do
a
that.
later time
We'll
because
set up another day for that. And we can go back into it fresh
right.
too and prepared since we had issues earlier, which is no
Oh,
problem.
right. Yeah, so I travel full time in an RV, so this is my RV. Welcome. And but I was up in the top bunk. So in the front here there's a top bunk and in the back there's a bedroom, another bedroom. And so that specific day I was up on the top bunk and I had my 3 boys with me. I had one up in the bunk with me, one was in this area cuz these couches fold down and make a bed too. And then I had the third one back in the back bed. Well, my little ankle biter dogs start barking like crazy at like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. We're all sound asleep. And that never happens, just so you know. And me and my son that was up top here, I think he was like 11 years old, and then my 13-year-old was here. We all woke up. So we're all like yelling at the dogs, stop barking, you know? And they wouldn't budge. Like they were literally wagging their tail like the best thing in the whole entire world's right outside that door, you know? And so I finally nobody's moving, so I finally go to come off this top bunk here, and I don't do anything more than just put from my knees down. I let them dangle, and I'm about to get off the bunk bed, and something in my bed, a force, it didn't physically touch me, okay? A force pushed me off the bed with force. My body went flying off the bunk bed like Superman, and I'm not exaggerating. And I fell in a bottomless black pit.
Wow.
So in this pit, I'm falling and I'm literally grabbing with both sides of my arms, just trying to grab anything to stop me because I'm falling so fast. And it's just pure blackness. And all I can see is blackness and feel the feeling of falling really fast. And so I was falling long enough that I was able to say in my head, when am I going to hit the floor? It's only right there. It's literally like 3.5 feet away. It's not like you're falling off like this big bed or anything. It's literally about 3.5 feet from the side of my bed there. And if my legs are dangling, it's even closer. So it's more like 3 feet down. If I would have like slid off or fell off the bed, I wouldn't have far to go to land. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But my legs were like, I flew off the bed. So my leg was all the way out here. My arms were back here like this. And when I hit the floor, I jumped ahead. As I'm falling in this thing, I was falling long enough that I said, when am I going to hit the floor? It's just right there. As soon as I said that, I instantly came out of the black pit and I hit the floor and I broke both bones in my arm here.
Wow.
I knew right away both bones were broke. Like it's like whatever space I was in that bottomless black pit, I could it was almost like I saw it happen before it happened. That's the only way I can describe it. I knew right away that both bones were broken in my arm, and I squeezed them until they were popped back in place, because a broken bone actually feels way worse when it's out of place than in place. So it was so much agonizing pain. My instant feeling was to push it back into place to get me out of that pain. And so I went to the hospital. I didn't want to go to the hospital because I knew I already set my arm, but grandma almost had a heart attack. She was at the main house and we were down at the bottom of the property. This was out in North Carolina. And so I go to the hospital. I tell the doctor, oh no, here, let me put light on. Sorry.
That was spooky.
But I know I have 2 lights. So, anyway, so I went to the hospital. As soon as the doctor came in the room, I said, listen, I broke my arm. I broke both bones, but I've already set them back in place. And he kind of like snickers at me like, oh, okay, well, we'll see about that. He brings me back for an x-ray, and sure enough, I broke both bones and I set them both back into place.
Wow.
So they put this cast on my arm. You know, you get a cast put on when you break an arm. And I leave the hospital to go back to the property where we're at. And all of a sudden, I start feeling like there is these hands around my neck and I'm being choked. Okay, that's the only way I can describe it. I all of a sudden couldn't breathe. And I knew that it had something to do with the cast on my arm. I can't explain that fully. I just knew that there was something not right about this cast, like entity wise not right about this cast. That's the only, like, it literally felt like it was a living entity, and it was putting its power around my neck and choking me. So I go back to the hospital the very next day because I was like, I don't know, something's wrong with this cast. You guys got to take this one off me and put another one on. I don't know why I feel like I'm being choked. And so they cut that one off, put a new one on, and I didn't get more than 20 minutes from the hospital. We hadn't even made it home. And already again, I feel hands around my neck like it's choking me, whatever it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so what ultimately happened is I had to go to a specialist, have him put a special cast on me, which is still just a regular hard cast. And but I guess he puts them on better than the hospital. I don't know. So that that doctor tells me, he was like, if anything happens with this cast, you can come right back in tomorrow and I'll cut it right off and we'll just figure something else out. So
It's almost like
again,
something didn't want you to have that on at all. So that's
right. You
crazy.
have no idea. Like, well, the thing is before I went to the hospital, I had already told grandma, listen, I've already set it back in place. I don't want to go to the hospital and get and have them look at it or do anything to it or put a cast on my arm. I just knew at that point, I knew that it wasn't necessary. That's the only way I can describe it. Is it really isn't necessary. We can heal. We have the power inside us to heal ourselves. And so it's not necessary to put that cast on. And but grandma almost had a heart attack, so I had to go. And so I go do the whole specialist thing. I'm back in 24 hours later telling the receptionist I need this cut off now. So I ended up getting the third cast cut off, and then I just had this little, like, an ace bandage type wrap thing that you could just pull off and put back on. That's what I was using instead on my arm. And the main reason why I even had it on there is in case I like hit something, I want some sort of cushion there. And so now I'm completely castless and I'm thinking, okay, I'm good. Everything's good. All is well. Okay. That night, after getting the last cast taken off and the just like the little wrap on, I all of a sudden start feeling this sensation when I laid down to go to bed that night. Like there was this spider as big as a tarantula. Okay. Like, so think about the size of a tarantula. I felt all of the legs crawling up my leg, coming all the way up. And as soon as it would get to my chest, I was instantly thrown back into that bottomless black pit.
Whoa.
It was so traumatizing. I thought for sure I'm something is killing me right now. Like I'm dying. Like I know all of what I'm saying right now sounds crazy, but I'm telling you right now, it was as real can be for me. And
Well, I believe
so
it. I've heard similar. That it was making my mind turn because I've heard a lot, not a
mhm,
lot, but a decent amount of people talk about this on YouTube channels and
mhm.
podcast shows, but you don't hear a whole lot about it because
I
I think
haven't
it's
heard
the same
anybody
issue.
talk about I haven't heard anybody yet with my experience. I've heard other experiences
What?
that were crazy,
It
but
was
not.
similar, but yours is totally
Mhm.
different. And I think what the problem is people are, like you say, people think they're crazy and they're too uncomfortable to
Right,
talk about it. And that's what I
right,
love about
right.
platforms like ours and yours, and and others that give it a place for them to be able to talk about it and not be ridicule about it. And
Right,
I think that's
exactly.
what's important, and reach out to more people. And we gotta let them all know,
Right.
reach out to me and Tammy, come on the show and share your
Yes,
experience.
exactly.
Don't be
Yeah,
afraid to.
because I had to do, that's the reason why I do my channel, is because I want people to be able to freely come out and talk about these things that they've been hiding in their life, their whole entire life, because they thought that they would look crazy.
Yep.
I did. And I battled that whole spider thing that I went through, I battled that for 3 months straight. It happened every single day, multiple times a day, guaranteed to happen as soon as I laid down to go to bed. Like,
Wow.
my kids were all involved with this. We would just be in mid conversation, having a conversation just like you and I are having right now. And all of a sudden, the spider starts crawling up my leg, and I'll be like, oh my gosh, you guys, it's happening again. It's crawling up my leg. Oh my gosh, it's coming up. Oh my gosh. And as soon as it would hit my heart, I'd lose it. And so my kids were there to witness this. And but what ultimately happened, okay, is I came to the understanding, like, it was almost, I was so frightened that it was almost that I forgot the power that is within us, that power that we have within us. Like, I was so frightened that I forgot who I was. And so when I all of a sudden realized, what are you doing? All you have to do is just go outside your body and not be present for it when it happens. So I started doing that, and I did that probably for a good out of that 3 months, for at least a good solid month. I was going outside my body, and literally just right outside my body. And I was watching my body go through the experience, because I didn't go into full detail, but when this experience would happen, the spider would crawl up my leg, I would be in full blown out panic, but eventually it would let me loose. And when it would let me loose, my whole body would go into convulsions like a seizure, but I wasn't having a seizure. It was just my whole body, just like convulse, like arms, legs, everything just convulsing without having a seizure. That's the
Wow.
only way I can describe it. So I would be right outside my body, and I would be like, okay, it's going up to the heart. Okay, it's there, and I would just be talking on the other side with other entities that weren't visible or anything. I just could feel the presence, that I had a presence with me. And I'd just be like, all right, okay, now it's at the convulsing thing. It's leaving. It's about to leave. The convulsing thing is happening. And then as soon as it was done, I would just go right back into myself, and I wouldn't experience it anymore. And how I feel about that whole experience and why it happened the way that it did and how it ended the way that it did is, when that thing pushed me off the bed, I felt that force not physically touch me, but the force of it touch me. That was some sort of an entity that attached itself to me. And it literally brought me instantly into that bottomless black pit, and instantly was now like fully attached to me. And
Wow.
that entity from that happened on my bunk bed there, that's what I had to battle for 3 months straight.
Wow.
I had to go through and I'm not going to lie to you. Once I got set free, when I all of a sudden woke up 3 months later one day, and I realized, as I'm sitting on the porch at my son's house and all these other teenage kids, I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't have one last night. Like, I literally laid down and went to sleep this time, and it didn't happen. And I'm like, and I said inside my head, I wonder if it's going to happen today. Didn't happen. Every day went by, didn't happen. And that was 5 years ago. It's never happened again.
Wow.
Like, the entity was feeding off of my fear. And when I began to leave my body, it couldn't affect me anymore. I was outside myself. So I wasn't scared when I was outside myself. So because it wasn't being fed anymore, I basically starved it out, and it had to leave, and it never came back again.
That's intense.
So
Wow.
yeah, so that was another, Yeah, that was I had severe PTSD for about 2 years after that, I'm not gonna lie.
Oh,
I was
I
so
believe it.
traumatized every day, all day for about 2 years. The PTSD was horrible
Well,
from that experience.
when you're telling me what you
Mhm.
experienced there, I'm definitely going to say what I got to tell you for your show.
Okay. I
Because it's definitely similar of some things I dealt with, and because I used to have a drinking problem, and
right.
it was like I was battling, myself,
Mhm.
but something else was, like a leech,
Right.
and it took me a long time to fight it and get out of it, and I
Mhm.
I believe I was battling something dark, and it kept bringing me
Mhm.
right back to that place. So
Mhm.
I'll definitely
Yes,
say that
good,
for
good.
yours.
Don't go into too much detail
Yeah.
because I know when I speak things and people hear what I say, it all of a sudden triggers in them.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've had this. I know I feel what you're
Mhm.
saying, so I know that I've experienced this before. You know what I mean? It
Yeah.
opens people up because I want people to be able to freely speak about these things and not speak about them having to have fear in speaking about them, because the more you bring it out to the light, the more that darkness is dimmed.
Yeah.
And
I believe
so,
that. And I think it's
yeah, so
important to
we,
talk about it. And some people are not
mhm,
ready. And,
right.
that's like me. I wasn't ready to talk about certain things because I was worried about what people think. Because it just
Yes,
goes all over in your mind. You're like, I was dealing with this and that and that. And they look at you like, what? What? And
right.
so,
Exactly.
yeah.
So these are it's good that you're giving safe places like this to be able to speak freely like this,
Yep. Yep.
And the more freely people are able to speak and and talk about their experiences, it just opens the door to show that it isn't just the here and now. This isn't it.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever this isn't it.
There's a lot
And
more
we
going
all
on than we know. That's for sure.
right. And we all have the ability to rise above. And right now there's a big huge shift that is happening worldwide by the millions of people that are having experiences just like this, that is changing their life instantaneously, and from that point on they're going into a whole different direction,
That's
because we got to be
100%
honest
true.
here. Honesty here, okay? This world does not run right. It's upside down and it's backwards, and the only way that we're going to be able to change this is if we stand up and we rise up.
Yep.
And if enough people stand up and rise up and shine their light, the light will dispel the darkness.
Yep. I
It
agree with
will
you.
dispel.
I agree with you. And I
And
think that's
so
what's
there's a
going on right now. And you
it
definitely see
is.
more of it. So,
Mhm.
and you're
It's
see a lot of
exactly what's
people,
going on.
a lot of people are changing right now. It's amazing. And
Mhm.
a lot of it for the
By the
good, and
millions.
some of it, you are dealing with a lot of bad out there too, of course. But
Mhm.
but there's a lot of good
Yeah,
coming
but if
out of
you
it.
keep your frequency, if you keep your energy and your frequency in that which is the good things that are happening rather than feeding, because when you give your attention and time to the bad things, you're feeding it. You're
Yeah.
you're giving it you have to make a choice. Do you want to give your energy and feed your energy to that which is the darkness here? Or do you want to feed and produce the light that is going to dispel all the darkness?
I agree
You
with
know?
you. I definitely,
And
I definitely see
mhm.
that. So,
Mhm.
but yeah,
Because we're
Tammy,
the light of the world.
I definitely
We're
want to
the
end it
light of the
here
world.
because I definitely want to bring you back and come back in fresh,
Yes.
and
Perfect.
I'll definitely come on yours. We'll set up a day and go on
Yep.
yours, and
Yep.
I had a lot
Awesome.
of fun hearing. Well, it was pretty scary hearing it too, but I had a good time. So,
Not trying to scare anybody. I'm over it now. I'm way past
well,
all of
it was
that.
pretty intense. I was like, man, she's definitely dealing with some stuff. So,
Oh yeah.
I,
So
it had
yeah,
my
this
mind
was
going.
great.
So, yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad I have this all. You're one of my first ones to. Well, I had John Urban on here
Hmm.
to test this out. It was a while back though, when before I took a break. But still had
Right.
internet
So I'm the
issue.
first one coming back. Yay.
Yeah, yeah. I had Mr. Duffy on too, do a live test too, and he worked out perfect too. But
Hmm.
you're actually one of my first guests set up to go and do the show, and I plan to do it just pre-recorded. I just wanted to test the live out to make sure, see if we can get some people in too. But we get one here and there. Still growing. I do a lot on the
Right.
Spotify, so I'm trying to work the
Oh, okay.
YouTube.
Yep.
back up, and
Yep.
I got
Hmm.
episodes that are not even on YouTube; they're all on Spotify. Um,
Oh,
so
okay.
I need to upload all the audio versions onto YouTube so people can check it out because it seems like everybody's going to YouTube nowadays, and
Right, right.
I'm trying to get more
Yeah,
followers
so
on there too.
I don't
So.
I don't know everything that I'm doing either. I really don't know everything that I'm doing, but I know that what are, educational wise, I'm still learning everything, but I
Oh yeah,
know that what I'm doing, like interviewing people and exposing these experiences, I know it's part of that which is changing the world and bringing light to the world.
yeah. I've watched some of your
Mhm,
episodes, and you're doing a really good
mhm,
job. I can see you're connecting with people, so I was
mhm.
like, wow, yeah, she's got it because you're connecting.
Thank
You're
you.
not pulling that fake thing like a lot of podcasters do because they try to do that little Hollywood
Right.
style thing. It's like just be yourself.
Right. Yeah, I
Get in
can't
there
do
and be
that. That's
yourself.
not me.
You know?
Yeah, no,
So
I can only be me and
yeah,
who I am. I don't know how to be all that other stuff,
yeah,
whatever that is.
yeah. There's a lot of that out
So,
there. Those are the ones you kind of gotta go. Well, they're going the
mhm,
wrong direction. But I mean, they get some
right.
good guests on
Mm-mm,
there, but they just go in the wrong direction. But
right.
all right, well
Sorry
we'll
about my
leave it.
dogs
Oh, you're
barking.
fine. You should
Yeah.
have heard all mine. I don't know if I picked them up or not, but I got a lot of dogs and they were barking like crazy earlier. So
All right. So I can't wait to do this again.
yeah, we will. It was fun.
Yep.
All
Have a
right.
great rest of your night.
You too. Thanks for coming on.
All right. Bye bye.
Bye. Well, guys, that was it. It was we tried to get up and going on the show earlier, but you know what? It worked out, so that's cool because I got the intro on the other files. So what I'll do is edit it. I'll probably take this live off and re-edit the video to put the intro in because it tells you where her you go check out her show and all that. So be sure to check out Tammy. Um, so you so that's what it's all about, guys. Bringing a lot of people like her on the show and other podcasters as well. I'm just checking to see who messaged me. So yeah, definitely go check out Tammy Cheney. I hope I said your last name right. I apologize, Tammy, if I said it wrong. Go check out her podcast, Raw Conscious Talk Podcast. So I think I said it right that time. Earlier, I think I said the. Apologize. So I'm a little rusty and getting back into the show. I really enjoy having her on the show, and I'm going to be doing more lives too. But I'm going to make sure the guest knows about it before we go up, like I told Tammy and other people I'll bring on. But I will do just pre-recorded shows to put on later. So next time I bring Tammy on, we're going to probably pre-record it. Just hit record and go. Just me and her chat, and you guys will have to wait. She had a lot of interesting things that gone on in her life, and it sounds like she's had a whole lot more through her life. So definitely brought some stuff back to me in my mind of stuff I'd experienced when I was young. So I was kind of blown away. I was like, whoa. So it started making my head hurt because it was all coming in. I'm like, wow, whoa. So if you'd like to come on the show, make sure you email me at mountainmanett@gmail.com or you can message me on Facebook. All right, guys. So until next time, let's explore the truth together and let's go out with a little bit of a theme. It's not perfect, but we'll go with it. All right, guys. All right, until next time.